Hi guys. So I don't want this video to be overly pessimistic or toxic, and I have definitely had two of my videos be that way before, and I don't take anything I said in those back because it's the truth, right? But I wanted to talk about the state of Nintendo in 2026 because Nintendo is easily, I mean, this isn't a surprise, probably. Judging by my channel, Nintendo is my favorite media company. And they have been since I was fucking old enough to play video games, you know? But where we're at now in 2026 is not where we were even in 2017. I remember waiting outside of my local GameStop. My mom let me take off school. I remember waiting outside of GameStop to fucking get a Switch, and I remember the hype around it. I remember seeing that first trailer for the Switch with Odyssey and just feeling like holy fuck, this is how I felt the whole time I've liked Nintendo. Like same way I felt when Galaxy 2 came out. It was wonderful. What a time, right? But if we're being intellectually honest, and like people online like to call Nintendo criticism like you're a grifter if you criticize Nintendo. I have said this now on this channel like 8 times. I'm not beating a dead horse, but there's nothing about criticizing a company that you like that shouldn't be accepted, because when you criticize constructive criticism toward a company is not wanting it to die or wanting it to cease to exist. I don't want to go too off topic here, but where are we right now in 2026 versus where were we in 2017? And I'll tell you, we're at a point where the games on the Switch 2, and I'm literally looking at my monitor. I'm looking at all the games I've played and own. There's nothing for the Switch 2, in my opinion, that warrants going out and buying one. To be honest, and this is from a Nintendo fan, someone who I, I prefer Nintendo games over any other type of game. I would genuinely recommend you buy a Steam Deck. If you're going to spend near $500, I would go buy a Steam Deck OLED. And if you really if you don't already own a Switch, which a lot of people do own a Switch, because when COVID happened, big thing. Like if you own a Switch, keep your Switch and upgrade to the Switch 2. Maybe when a 3D Mario game comes out, or maybe when a game that, in my opinion, and I won't honestly, I'm not going to tell you to immediately upgrade when a 3D Mario game comes out, because given the track record of the games we've gotten so far, and this is my opinion, none of them are worth a shit. And by worth a shit, I mean none of them are worth the price tag. Kirby Air Riders is great. Is it worth $70 and $500 console? No, it's not. You can do without. You can watch a video on it if you really want to. I actually think, funny enough, I think Kirby Air Riders is a better racer than Mario Kart World, and that's not good considering Mario Kart World is what was supposed to flagship launch the Switch 2. But we're at a point in 2026 where anytime you criticize Nintendo, you're a grifter or you're just wrong. Like, because these people have their heads shoved so far up their ass, you're immediately wrong. And I wanted to in a constructive way try to tell my audience, if I do gain an audience or anyone who watches this video, that you do not have to be spoon-fed shit and act like it is dessert. And that's just the truth. You are allowed, especially when it's your fucking money, you are allowed to criticize these companies. And I think that we're all the better for it. In fact, perfect example is Pokemon, which I just made a video on, and I actually praised the Game Freak for giving us the two games that you probably see on my home screen at some point in this video, because I didn't think they'd do it, because they have such an awful track record, in my opinion, over the last... Honestly, Game Freak since Section Y has not been what it was. It's downhill since then, but that's an opinion. Obviously, I think some people love Sword and Shield, some people love Scarlet and Violet. Even though I would definitely argue Scarlet and Violet and Legends ZA are a waste of money, and they're not what they could be. I think that they're half-baked games that are sold to you for way too much money, and that doesn't mean you can't enjoy them, which seems to be something that everybody misses when I say stuff like that. Like if I say, "Oh, the game's ass," "Oh, did you not play it? I had fun." Like, okay, great. I'm glad you had fun. That doesn't make it a good game. I've had fun watching a lot of films. Like I'm a big movie theater guy. I go to film festivals all the time, and like according to my letterbox, last year I watched 217 films in theaters. I love film, and I have fun with bad movies. There are movies that I thought I watched last year, for instance, that I thought were not good movies, but they were fun. Like 28 Years Later, I don't think that was a perfect film, but it was a fun film. But I could see why somebody would say I didn't like that film. So, to get back on Nintendo, I think that if, as a community, we can be intellectually honest, I think that we will only gain from that. And as I was saying with Pokemon, I think the problem with the Pokemon community is that you have a group of people who are so brainwashed into defending a company that they like that they've allowed the company to give them subpar content and get away with it. Because the truth is, and you're not going to convince me otherwise of this, in fact, I think that you're only going to be trying to convince yourself, Game Freak knows they can half-ass a Pokemon game and you're still going to buy it. I'm still going to buy it. And that's the truth. Like, I'll admit to you, I will still go out and I'll buy a Pokemon game right when it drops. I mean, I own all the fucking Pokemon games, literally. But that doesn't mean that I have to call them good. Like, I can sit. I went on launch day. I played through Legends ZA, and I 100%ed it. And I had. Did I have the worst time of my life playing Legends ZA? No. But did I leave that experience saying, "Wow, I want more of exactly that"? Absolutely not. It showed me though that that's the problem with a lot of the Nintendo games recently. And I'm going to make a statement here, and you can disagree, but I think a big problem is a lot of the people that made the games that we loved as children have left. And what we have now isn't people who were sent to these companies, and I mean all the companies. Like, before some asshole goes in my comment section and says, "But PlayStation also sucks," I'm not fucking talking about that. Like, pull your head out of your ass. Companies are not making games to please you anymore. They're making games to fulfill a quota. And that's what a lot of game designers are now. Now, you have rare exceptions. Like Expedition 33, for instance, wonderful, beautiful fucking game. Legends Arceus was a pretty damn good game because you had somebody who had one of the people that worked on Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and you had From Software come for that. I'm not saying that Nintendo can't make a good game, but I'm saying, like, a perfect example is Donkey Kong Bonanza, and maybe this will be a big point of contention. Maybe I'll get in a fight over this one. Donkey Kong Bonanza is a safe, brain-dead, easy, gimmicky game that is mediocre at best. It is not a masterpiece. It's not a fucking 10 out of 10. It is the definition of, I just got out of college. How do I make a game that hooks somebody into it and just barely passes for there's care put into that so I can make money? And I think that's the problem we're facing, if we're being honest. And there's games that I know you can think of, even the people who are going to come on my channel from someone else's channel who's going to call me a grifter. Even you guys can think of a game that you played and you were a little disappointed with. Like, for instance, one of the ones that I played recently that I was like, oh, that could have been, or not, maybe not recently, but like God of War Ragnarok, for instance, when that game came out, they reused so many assets, and it was the same map, and I get it, use the same map, you have a much smaller development cycle, but that game could have been so much better. Same with Spider-Man 2 on the PS5. That game is not good. The gameplay is good. The story is subpar at best, and we should call those things out so that the next title that we get might improve. I do not think that we are being bad fans of a franchise or negative of a franchise if we're just being constructive with our criticism. And I don't think you're a grifter if you make a comment that, oh, I don't like the Switch 2's game so far. I also don't think you're a grifter if you say something like, for instance, we had a partner direct recently, and a lot of big YouTubers commented on that. And a lot of them, to my surprise, actually took a bit of a reasonable take where they were like, hey, this kind of fucking sucked. Like, we have a $500 console that, a lot like the PS5 when it first came out. Well, actually, we have a little... I'm going to get myself in trouble here. The PS5, when it first came out, I would say a lot of those games were actually pretty solid. But it didn't have a lot. So it was almost like you bought a PS5 and you were stuck playing the PS4's library. That's what the Switch 2 is. I bought a Switch 2, and I'd say 80% of my time, besides when I just, like, almost like homework, try to complete one of the new AAA games they released, because what have we gotten? Mario Kart World is not great. I would play Mario Kart 8 over Mario Kart World. I mean, the online for Mario Kart World is fucking dead already. That game is not talked about as much as it could be. They dropped the ball there. Metroid Prime 4 is not a Metroid game. It's a pretty game, and I get that one had a lot of stuff going on in the background. Like, that game had a lot of issues. Mario Tennis Fever, it's not worth $80. I'm sorry, it's not. And it's a tennis game. If you already own a Mario Tennis game, like if you really like Aces, for instance, or whatever the last one was called, and you already have that, there's no fucking reason. Like, you don't need to get up out of bed and go buy a Switch 2 for the new Mario Tennis game. Like, you can flick your wrist in a lot of other ways, believe me. And then there's Air Riders, which I like Air Riders. I think Air Riders is good, not worth $70. Again, not worth the price of entry in my opinion, but it's a good game. And that's because Nintendo actually let the creator of that game do what the fuck they wanted to do. And this is coming from someone, and I'm not saying this in a facetious way, I can throw money out the window and it doesn't affect me. But I created this channel because a lot of my friends can't. And I hear their complaints. We'll play a game on Discord. It's like, holy fuck, like, I don't want to spend, I can't spend my fucking paycheck on this new AAA game. And this isn't just a Nintendo issue, but I'm a Nintendo channel. And I'm going to focus on Nintendo because Nintendo has gotten very greedy. I don't care what your opinion is on the games. There is no arguing that. They have gotten very, very, very greedy. And I don't think that is something that we should fucking encourage. And I don't think that when someone points out that Nintendo is greedy, the first thing as a community we do is jump on the bandwagon of, oh wow, you're a fucking grifter for calling Nintendo Nintendo is the same it's always been. No, it isn't. That's just not true. That's absolutely false. And this video is out of passion because I really fucking want the Switch 2 to be good. I really want these games. I want that. I'm fine with giving Nintendo $80. I really am. I would be, like, tomorrow, they could tell me that Heart Gold and Soul Silver are coming out. Like, we're getting remakes. They're still 2D, but they're just, like, kind of, like, heightened. I'd give you $140 per copy easily. I would pay that because those are good games. But when you ask me for $80 and you give me something that is so clearly just to meet a release window or to meet, like, we need a release for this, it just kind of boggles my mind. And it makes me wonder, what is Nintendo really doing? Because a lot of what we've gotten is, hey, here's a game that you already spent money on, give me more money, and we'll give you basically fucking nothing else in return. And I just don't think that is what we should be encouraging. And I would love discourse in the chat. I would love comments about this. And please be fucking intellectually honest. Do not come to my channel and say some stupid shit like, play Gay Station bad also, so you're stupid. Like, you're just being a fucking idiot. I don't care. You can be depressed by yourself. Take your depressing ass fucking opinions and go somewhere else. I want to end this video by saying I don't even understand the console war thing fully. People are making videos like, oh, Sony's fucking dying, Nintendo's winning. They're not even playing the same game, and they're not fighting each other. So you're a dumbass. Sony and Nintendo are not going head to head in any meaningful way. They are not destroying each other. Sony has a monopoly on fucking films. They own Spider-Man, who that IP alone blows blows 90% of Nintendo out of the water, whether we like it or not. Spider-Man commands a lot of money anytime he's used. His movies all make over $1 billion. Brand New Day will probably make, even though Brand New Day is shaping up to sound really terrible, Brand New Day is going to make over $1 billion. Spider-Man is a popular fucking character. Sony is not playing checkers with Nintendo. And to all the YouTubers who think that in their own head they're playing three-dimensional chess, you're not. You just sound like an asshole. If you want to own a PS5 over a Switch, cool. If you like the PS5 and you like Sony's games, cool. If you like Nintendo's games, cool. Stop fucking pinning everything against each other. It's not constructive. You're not helping anyone. You're not going to get your wife and kids back. I hope everyone has a good day. I wasn't planning on posting another video, but today, but yeah, I just wanted to talk about that. I hope Nintendo does more and becomes more for us. I saw like a comment, like there's a YouTuber right now who has a bunch of like his the children he's groomed, I'm guessing, like come for me, and they're like, oh, you have a Kirby profile picture, but you say Nintendo needs to do better. Yeah, dumbass. What does that even mean? Like I drive a Tesla, and I think that Tesla as a company should be a better company. Like, okay, what do you want me to do? Like, I am I not allowed? Basically what you're saying when you say something like that is that if you like something, you're unallowed to criticize it. That's a stupid fucking argument. Like, stop. Let's be intellectually honest with each other. Let's have a conversation. But this whole pin everything against everybody else, all you're doing is pissing people off. And you're alienating people who might have actually gone to Nintendo. That's how a lot of my friends I know refuse to touch Nintendo products because of how toxic a lot of you fucking fat 32-year-old white men are. Stop. Stop. Like, that 9 to 5 you're fucking working, I get it's stressful. Doesn't mean you have to get home and talk shit on anybody who doesn't want to, like, lick your boots, okay? That's all I wanted to say. I think we need to be more intellectually honest as a community, and I think we need to hold Nintendo and Game Freak accountable where that's due. I also think you should hold PlayStation accountable. I think you should hold any company accountable. It is your money. You are the one giving these companies money. You are the one making these companies money. Without all of us, there's nothing there. So you should want the quality to be as good as it can humanly be, and you should pressure them for the highest amount of quality in any given circumstance. Thank you.